Blackburn, you're next.
Well, thank you, Madam Chairman. And Mr. Harris, I want to just stay with you for a second and the issues that we're addressing that have to do with the virtual space. The Privacy Shield and the Privacy Shield framework and the Court of Justice of the EU said that it was invalid for transfers of personal data from the U.S. to the EU. And the Department of Commerce says it's still administering the program, but companies can no longer rely on Privacy Shield to show their compliance with EU data protection rules, and consumers are losing out on some of these key protections. So we know that this is important on a lot of different fronts, and we know this comes under your purview and jurisdiction, and I would like to hear from you how you plan to continue to work with our EU counterparts and how you plan to get Privacy Shield reinstated and up and running.
Senator, thank you for that question. My understanding is that the negotiations are ongoing right now, but I want to make very clear I understand the importance of this issue. I know that thousands of U.S. companies, small and large, were dependent on this framework, well over 5,300 companies. And my understanding is that about 70% of them were SMEs as well. So I don't know the exact status of these negotiations, but if confirmed, this would be a priority to dive in and do anything that I can to help finalize and facilitate a resolution.
I appreciate that. And just as Chairman Cantwell was talking with you about the supply chain and the importance of that and the importance to our nation's economy that we be the ones setting the standards and that we become less reliant on China, not more reliant on China, that we move manufacturing out of China into us and our allies. These are components that are going to be incredibly important to us as we continue to move forward and look at these issues. Mr. Hohen-Sarek, let me ask you about CPSC's report from May, where they're looking at AI and machine learning and created a framework to evaluate the safety of these technologies in consumer products. And using AI and ML, of course, whether it's tracking products, whether it is identification, there is so much we can do to take out human error and to expedite and to facilitate. So I'd like to hear from you. What is your focus going to be when it comes to making these technological changes and the utilization of these technologies a priority at CPSC?
Senator, thank you for the question. I did read the report from May. I think that it is important both in terms of understanding how AI and machine learning will be utilized in consumer products and what that means for consumer safety. But I think also what you're talking about as well, which is to what extent that can the agency itself use such technologies and to be able to prove and make itself more efficient. I think we're in the early stages of this at this point in time. I know the chief technology officer of the agency has an AI background. I think that's a good start. But if confirmed, I would want to make sure that we have the resources in place, the expertise that we're dealing.
Okay, let me ask you this: do you have the technical expertise, and do you have the foundational resources that you need to make this transition?
Thank you. At the agency itself, I think it's good that the CTO has a background. I would want to be able to get to the agency, have a better understanding of what their resources are, be able to get back to you to answer that exact question. I know that they've started, but I think this is early stages for them, and they could use more expertise from what I've understood so far.
Okay, Ms. Boyle, I saw you nodding, so I think you want to weigh in on this, so go ahead.
Thank you, Senator, for that. I agree. It's a developing area at the agency, and I think we've made a good start, but I think we certainly can use increased resources and expertise. We've had, the Chief Technology Officer is a new position at the agency, and I do think that's a good start. The agency held a roundtable for stakeholders earlier this year to gather information, but it is something that I do think requires additional focus, and it's a developing area, and I welcome your interest and support on that.
Yes, well, we'll be following that, and then also how you use blockchain, watching also for permanent markings on children's toys, utilization of blockchain technology in that application also. Well, congratulations to each of you. The work that you do is important to all American citizens, but I think it's especially important to those of us who are mamas and grandmamas and are watching the safety of the supply chain, whether it is a children's toy or whether it is a cross-border data transfer. So thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chairman.